With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
It's been a tale of two championships here on Monday night. On the GR86 side of things, it's been a story of domination for Alexis Moisin, taking every win from every race in this series. However, in the LMP3-GT4 series, it's a story of seeming chaos, with mistakes by leaders often leading to final finishing orders and undeniable jumbled orders in the standings. Will tonight keep on with those trends, or will we see a little bit more of those stories written? We won't have long to wait to find out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PRL Monday Night Series, brought to you here live on RaceSpotTV. My name is DJ Clark, with Dustin Ollis working as our producer and director behind the scenes. And as we take a look at the schedule this year for the GR86 series, you find ourselves here at round 5 of Monza Junior, a little bit of a unique track around an old familiar favorite. It's virtually an oval with just about 5 turns around here. But next week we head to the always tricky Mid-Ohio, Lime Rock Park, then back over to Monza, this time without the first chicane, then Watkins Glen, and then Road America to round out the season. It will certainly be a fantastic run there. As we take a look at the standings, though, as I said earlier, Alexis Moisin up on the top of the charts. It's been dominant there in that force, and it's really become a battle of the best of the rest. Jeremy Schneider currently leading the way, but only 4 points over fan favorite Graham Wildman. Then it's Nathan Miller holding on to that 4th place position. Patrick Reed within striking distance, but still a little bit ways back, and the same can be said for Rafael Franco, who's had a good couple of rounds, including a 2nd place last week. Edward Peltz tied with Greg Bell there for 7th, with Andrew Sharp only a single point behind them, and then Kevin Bergquist rounding out your top 10. We also have a teams championship, and as you can imagine, Moisin's bump draft to victory team going to be leading the way by about 79 points over Modman Racing. Then it's Dark Room in P3, and this is where the battles start to develop a little bit. Crikey Esports only about 40 points back from them. Precision Racing Esports holds the 20-point lead over Vulture Motorsports, and then Team Huntington rounds out your 7-car field. As we get ready to start thinking about the action here today, but before we get into all of that, we'd like to thank our sponsors. First and foremost, Advanced Sim Racing. Owned and operated by passionate sim racers, Advanced Sim Racing designs and builds the sturdiest, most durable aluminum profile racing simulation cockpits available in the market today. All PRL members also get a 5% discount on all ASR products using the Precision 5 coupon code. Also, thanks to Racebox Sim Racing. Racebox offers mid and high-end button boxes for sim racing enthusiasts, from the casual gamer up to the most meticulous sim racing driver. Competitively priced and carefully handcrafted, their button boxes are an enjoyable addition to any sim racing setup. Visit RaceboxSimRacing.com and get a 5% discount using the Precision 5 coupon code. Thanks also go to the Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker products provide an incredible immersion and realism to every game. Feel every nuance and truly put yourself in the driver's seat. Also thanks to Mechasim Hardware. Mechasim Hardware is a small company from the Czech Republic, and their goal is to produce high-quality sim racing hardware. If you are looking for a high-end pedal set, handbrake, or sequential shifter, visit Mechasim Hardware's eShop right now to get yourself up to speed. Also thanks to Muradness. Muradness is a performance lifestyle brand motivated by motorsport and founded by professional race car driver Daniel Morad. For more information, visit muradness.com. And finally, thanks to Mr. Hedge Sim Racing Photography. Mr. Hedge, Sim Racing Photography, capture your finest, proudest, or simply worst moments from your hobby in up to 8K resolution. A great addition to any sim racing room. Well, with that out of the way, we can get down into the business on hand, and that is qualifying. About 15 minutes down here in qualifying, and to the surprise of no one, it is Alexis Moisan up on the top of the charts here as they run, but plenty of drivers trying to be able to get their way up and close to him. Greg Bell, currently the closest, only about 88 thousandths of a second off of them, and then it's Jeremy Scheider, 5 thousandths of a second off of Bell. Franco sits in fourth, only 0.12 seconds behind Moisan themselves, and then Andrew Sharp, only about 2/10 back. Indeed, the whole field here only separated by about 1.8 seconds. There we watch P2 on your screen right now. Greg Bell working through this, run through the woods, let's call it. The run that normally would go from the entrance into turn 1 around traditional Monza, and then come back in at the exit of the Variante Ascari. There is, we see Dustin throwing that great track map there for us. You can kind of see it just sort of bypasses the whole second half of the circuit. Really runs here 2 long straightaways separated by the Parabolica and that run through the woods. Now, as we talked about with some drivers last week, thinking that the draft is going to be pretty crucial here today, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Greg Bell not necessarily setting the best time here, as he's going to be leading a train right now around. Looks like Michael Lordy and Ian Cabana going to be those two that they bring along. We'll keep you up to date on any times there. Bell's going to pull off to the side. Cabana doesn't look like they're able to improve, and they're going to try here on another lap as we ride on board with the number 774 coming down into that first corner. That's very tricky. You've got to be really careful there up on those curbs, as they can definitely unsettle the car if you're not careful. Oh, and speaking of that, a big wiggle there for the Precision Racing Esports driver coming off of the corner. They're going to be able to gather that car back up. That was Michael Lordy, by the way. Going to be able to gather that up back up under him, but still a big, big wiggle. Not what you want to have happen there. Coming down into Parabolica. And what can you say about this corner that hasn't already been said already? Absolutely fantastic, especially in these GR86s. A lot of body roll that you're going to have to contend with in those cars, and it'll be interesting to see who's going to be able to contend with that the best here today. But as Cabana brings that car back out onto the main straightaway, we check in with one of the other favorites here in the series early on. Andrew Sharp had a couple of great qualifying runs in the first few rounds. Hasn't necessarily seen the race pace to back that up, but let's see here as Sharp comes across the line right now. That's going to be a 57.605. Not quite fast enough to improve from the 5th place that Sharp is sitting on right now. And it looks like they're going to apply the brakes, and that's going to pull him off to the outside. Here we've got a little bit of a draft train starting to form a little bit. Now this is Michael Lordy once again, and it looks like Lordy's been able to hook up once more with Ian Cabana. Now my question is we're not going to see it. Well, nope, there we are going to see it. A little bit of a bump draft coming down the back straightaway. Now crucially, in this qualifying format, that will count as a 0x. That will count as contact, and both cars will be coming down into pit lane. Excuse me, Lordy will not be coming down into pit lane. And I say that 0x because any sort of contact will negate the lap. It will not allow you to be able to put that lap down to count. Every other one will. In the race, though, wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of that bump drafting starting to take place. Here's Graham Wildman on your screen right now. The driver of the 53, the fan favorite, is Rafael Franco, able to improve up at the top of the charts. That'll jump to number 36 up into P2. And Graham Wildman going to be able to get his way up into P9 with a 57.674. So a very good run there for the number 53 with only about 15 seconds left. This will no doubt be Graham's last lap around the circuit. By the way, that's Nathan Miller taking the tow there off of the number 53. So we'll have to see how he's able to do that. Oh, but Graham's going to get it wrong there as the car fishtails around the circuit. Able to get it back up underneath him, but a run onto the grass there on the exit of the woods section. That'll put him down in the order, and indeed, I think he's going to pull off to the side there as the checkered flag flies here for qualifying. We're going to check in on James O'Brien. Looks like he'll be the first one to cross over the line, taking a very, very wide line coming down through Parabolica, and indeed, that lap not going to count there. He's going to call it a day, it looks like. Francis Castillo-Romero, a favorite there in the GT4 series, coming on over here into the GR86. Romero will only start off in P6 here. Edward Peltz, though, P16. Maybe Peltz has got a little bit more underneath the hood of that purple and white machine. He'll cross over the line here. It's a 59.702, it looks like, for Peltz. That will not be an improvement. That will be him starting off in 16th position. Well, with everyone qualified here, that's just about time to be able to bring us in here qualifying order. It's to the surprise of absolutely no one. It is Alexis Moisin up on top of the charts, but only by 53 thousandths of a second ahead of Rafael Franco. Will we see a good battle between those here today? Franco certainly put up a good fight last time out. Let's see if he can do the same. Greg Bell lines up in P3, followed by Jeremy Schneider, another bump draft to victory driver. Then it's Andrew Sharp in P5, and Francis Castillo-Romero, I believe, making his debut here on the GR86s in that number 96 machine. He'll roll off in P6. Michael Lordy in the number 994 rolls off in P7, followed by James O'Brien, a row there of Precision Racing Esports teammates. Then it's Graham Wildman, Patrick Reed, Nathan Miller, and Ian Cabana to round out your top 12. Matthew Zerwick will start off 13th, followed by Luis Barraza. Then it's Kevin Berquist and Edward Peltz to round out the back of the grid. Now, it does look like here that we will be getting a full pace lap, I do believe. Yes, we will. All right, so that's going to give us a little bit more time. We were talking a little bit before the broadcast that if they gave them a short pace lap around here, things were going to get very, very tricky as there's not necessarily enough time to get everything up to speed. We may have a few drivers falling off the back, but right now, just waiting for a few to make their way onto the grid. Moisin, Franco, Schneider, Castillo, Romero, and O'Brien, I think the drivers that we are waiting for here at this point. They have about 2 minutes to bring their way on over, and so they've got plenty of time here. Still about 50, call it about a minute left on the clock for them to come on over as we take a look down this field. Going to be very crucial here today to make sure that you are able to keep yourself clean. This may be a short track. It may look a little bit like an oval, but rest assured that wild section, that wood section, can definitely catch you out if you are not ready for it. Looks like the entire field has gridded up here, and so that means that we will be getting down to racing here in just about a lap's time, waiting for that iRacing Porsche pace car to pull off, as there it goes. And that's going to be Moisin and Franco leading this field around. Track temperatures right now at about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 76 ambient, 65% humidity. That is going to mean that air is a little bit thicker. Crucially here, 7 miles an hour worth of wind. That's going to be a lot of wind for these drivers to contend with and for them to have to deal with. So that could present a little bit of a back and forth. We could see the draft really coming into play here for these drivers. Doing a little bit of weaving there. Looks like Andrew Sharp, James O'Brien in particular, trying to get those Continental tires up to full racing temperature. Again, with track temperatures only at about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, it will be a little bit difficult, I would have to imagine, for these drivers to get these cars fully up to temperature on this quick pace lap. As here they go, coming down the back straightaway, readying themselves, waiting for that pace car to pull off and for this race to get started. All right, here they come down into the Parabolica, put 35 minutes up on the clock. One pit stop, while not required, is going to be needed by these drivers because of the limited fuel tanks here in this series. As here comes the pace car, leading them out of the Parabolica. Watch for the dash down into pit lane here at this moment. The 36 in the front of the field here, flanking Alexis Moisen. That's Moisen down to the inside here as the whole field is going to wait on the number 21, waiting for the sign to go. Moisen's going to hold him a long time, and now there goes the green, and we are racing here in Italy. It is a brilliant getaway from Moisen, and immediately starting to weave back and forth, try to break that draft a little bit. Greg Bell throwing caution to the wind, going to try to make a little bit of a move there, but that's going to be Jeremy Schneider coming up to his outside as they come down into the corner. 2, 3 wide, almost back through the field here as they work their way through the woods for the first time. The top 5 have been able to get themselves in single file order. It's a little bit hairier farther back in the field. Our first side-by-side is going to be Francis Castillo Romero, and it looks like they're Michael Lordy as they come out onto the back straightaway. They fan themselves out now down into single file order here. Moisen leading by just under 2/10 of a second there. Big gap though between Francis Castillo Romero and Andrew Sharp. You can see it there on your screen. That is fan favorite Grant Wildman trying to make a move up to the inside of the 994 of Michael Lordy. He's going to be able to get it done going down through Parabolica. Brilliant stuff there from Graham. And now it looks like there the Lordy could find himself under attack again because that's his teammate there, James O'Brien. And O'Brien's going to be in the favored position here, getting a little bit of the draft. But now as the cars move their way back across the track, that could come back into a different way here at this point. Hopping on the binders, we've got a battle for the lead for the first time, I think, this entire series. We get to call somebody's name at the front of the field. Rafael Franco has taken the lead of the race in the number 36 and trying to pull away from your championship leader, Alexis Moisen. Good battles continuing on farther back down through the field here at this point. O'Brien and now Nathan Miller getting into it. Miller looking like he's going to have a little bit of an edge as they come down the back straightaway here into Parabolica. Let's see if anybody's going to make a dive here. No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like the preferred braking zone and overtaking zone here at this point is going to be going down into turn 1. So how will everyone fan themselves out there for that? Let us just wait and see. Wait and see. Here they go. Coming down the front straightaway right now, Moisen hot in pursuit as they run. Maybe a little bit of a bump draft there for the number 21. Oh, and that's going to give a little bit too much speed there to Rafael Franco. Franco barely able to hold on to the car. Now Moisen says thank you very much. Greg Bell trying to do the same thing as they come down through turn 3. Here they go. And now look at this. Jeremy Schneider trying to pick the pocket as well. Everything flying off here. Absolutely incredible. It looks like Schneider's going to barely be able to slide his way forward, but that's not going to be enough because Andrew Sharp wants in on the party. Sharp brings himself up into the equation as now they go Noah's Ark side by side down into Parabolica. Schneider outbreaking Greg Bell, and it looks like there that Andrew Sharp going to be able to have a little bit of an edge on Rafael Franco. As they come back onto the main straightaway now, this is allowed for Alexis Moisen to absolutely streak into the front of the field here at this point, pulling away and letting that battle develop. But look at this, Greg Bell weaving this way, weaving that way, trying to find a way to make anything work here. Bell not necessarily going to be able to pull in behind. It does look like Andrew Sharp has been able to make Rafael Franco pay for that costly error. And don't look now, but Franco has more company from behind him in the form of Francis Castillo Romero and Graham Wildman here as they run. This is not going to be an easy battle, and I think this is just the margins that we're going to be dealing with here when we talk about Monza Jr. One little slip up like that, like we saw from Rafael Franco, going to throw everything out of whack. As we jump on board the Graham Cam here, the number 53 from Oddman Racing, going to be bringing that car along here, trying to trail in behind Francis Castillo Romero. He's going to be sitting in the popcorn position, just sitting there watching and enjoying this battle playing out in front of him. Now, if I was Graham here in this situation, I'd think about maybe laying a little off here. Don't go on full attack. Let this battle play out in front of you. We've seen what can happen. Looking at Rafael Franco when things get a little bit chaotic up in front, as Jeremy Schneider now sets the fastest lap of the race out of P2. And good news for race fans out there, Schneider's been able to catch his teammate Alexis Moisen to the tune of about 0.7 of a second, so that gap up at the front of the field not slipping off into the distance. They come back here out of turn 3, working their way down the back straightaway now, trying to see if there's going to be anything to be had. A little bit of a look there for Francis Castillo Romero, but I don't think that was a full committed one there. We take a look here from the chopper cam. That's Andrew Sharp and Rafael Franco. Now remember what we said. This is going to be good running here for them. Here he goes. Franco trying to be able to get this to play, trying to see what he's able to do. Looking. That's going to be Sharp holding the outside line as close as he can. Looking to see if he can get a play. Is Franco going to go for the move? No, as that's Andrew Sharp there on your screen, just the face of concentration. All right, here as they go at this point, trying to see what they can do. Little bit of a poke from behind there. I think that's James O'Brien poking out on Lordy there. Indeed it is. That's going to be a little bit of a race coming down the back straightaway here, as now Lordy's going to tuck in line behind his teammate. Could be a little bit of teammate tactics being employed there. We've got to remember that this is going to operate a little bit, and dare I say this, folks, it's going to be a little bit like a restrictor plate race here in the way that they run. Trying to see what they can do as here we ride on board with them. Yeah, Lordy giving the bump draft here is Schneider yet again setting the fastest lap of the race in pursuit of his teammate. But the bump draft here going to come into play. Now, what you've got to be careful about is you can't be doing that. You've got to be separated by the time you get into the braking zone. It looks like they're barely going to be able to do it and barely able to hold on to it here at this point. Let's see what they can do. So now they come back around. They're trying to close down here about a 3.9 second gap to the front of the field, and they definitely need to be able to get going on it here at this point. Looks like a good run here from Lordy. He may be able to make the pass if he wants to, but instead he's going to give a bump to his teammate, trying to pick up a little bit more speed. We check back in on the front of the field. This is Andrew Sharp here running in fourth place behind Greg Bell. Schneider's been able to cut that gap down to about 4.5 tenths of a second here at this. Let's see what they are able to do. A little spaced out here at this point as we check back in on the front of the field. Now Francis Castillo-Romero setting the fastest lap of the race and tries to get his way around there. Not going to be able to make the pass here at this point. Going to try to see what they can do, try to see what they are able to get as the whole field fans their way out right now, trying to see as they go. Looks like down that back straightaway, we're not going to see any passes again. It's all going to be down into turn one. But it looked like there that was Francis Castillo-Romero maybe trying to get a little bit of a look there on Rafael Franco to just see if he was able to get anything done. All right, as they come back onto the main straightaway here at this point, looks like Franco's got a great run here coming in behind Andrew Sharp. Franco going to be the one to watch here. That gap is coming down to under 0.2 of a second, but Franco's going to back off. And I wonder if we're going to start seeing what we saw a lot of last season, and that is the fuel-saving game here at this point. With the draft being just this powerful, it is going to be very, very crucial to back off a little bit, make sure you're going to be able to hold everything together and try to see if you can get that move done in pit lane. Here they go. We watch that lead pack, Greg Bell on your screen. We watch the trailing pack. Unfortunately for the trailing pack, that gap staying resolutely at about 4.9 seconds here at this point. All right, here they go. Looking down the main straightaway here at this point, trying to see if anything is going to play for any of these drivers. Nobody looking like they're popping out of line. Looking like we're not going to see any movement there from that second pack as well. That gap just continuing to expand here at this point. James O'Brien, Michael Lordy. Oh, we do have a pass, though. Is Graham Wildman going to make a move here coming out of the corner on Francis Castillo-Romero, and that's going to be him up in front. Now, Romero's got a lot of speed coming down the back straightaway here. I wonder if he's going to be able to make it play. Not going to be able to make it work going down into Parabolica as they've got to sort themselves together. But unfortunately, that pass there from Wildman has extended the gap between themselves and fifth place. You can see it there on your screen. It's up to 1.1 seconds between himself and fifth place of Rafael Franco. All right, here they go. Franco in turn having a nice little battle here with Sharp in front of him. Wildman having to hold off a little bit of a display there. It's now Franco and Sharp going to be going at it. Looks like coming out of turn 3 at the moment. Here they run. Here they go. Let's see what they can play here. That is Franco very close all over the back of Sharp. Is he going to be able to get anything to play? Is he going to be able to get anything to do here? No, he's going to give him the bump draft, as we've seen him do time and time again. And looking here that they're just trying to be able to keep these gaps close at this point, trying to see what they're able to do, trying to see if they're able to keep that gap with the 2 leaders here at this point, Moisen and Schneider, and see if they are able to keep things together. Because remember, those 2 teammates at the front of the field, they may have their own agenda. They may be swapping around here a little bit. We don't know what the teammates are like in that bump draft to victory team. But with a name like that, I think we can all imagine what's going to be on the docket for them here today. So let's see what they can do, as it does look like here Graham Wildman with a great performance, putting on a good show now, trying to see what they're able to do, trying to see if he's able to make headway into this battle for P5. Remember, Wildman was a full second back not too long ago, but he's been able to catch back up, as there's the bump drive from Rafael Franco to Andrew Sharp. And will that actually slow down the 2 of them a little bit and give an opportunity here for Graham as they come out of Parabolica? Let's wait and find out. Here they go, onto the loud pedal, coming down the straightaway. Who's going to be the first one to poke out a line here? Remember, these are 3 drivers that are not affiliated with each other. There's the move from Franco down to the inside of Sharp, going to try to outbrake him into turn 1. Wildman's going to try to follow him on through. Sharp gives him all the space in the world, and that is the 2 of them up and through. Good running there for them. Good running for everybody all the way around here. Very, very good that we haven't seen that many offs here at this point. We talked a little bit earlier about how actually tricky that curving is down to the inside of turn 1, and it can really throw you off. As Graham Wildman now taking a little bit of a look down to the inside there, going into Parabolica. Contact between himself and Rafael Franco. This the battle for P4, looking like it could play out and come to blows here at this point. Luckily, both drivers able to keep things together, keep everything ready, and they're going to be able to go at this point. But here comes Wildman. Is he going to have a little bit of a run? Is he going to have a little bit of a chance? Yes, he will. Down to the inside of Franco. Move Graham Wildman up into P4 as he continues his chase through the field. And I guarantee you, Graham, that your supporters in the YouTube gallery are going absolutely wild right now. They've got to be very, very happy about seeing their man move their way forward. But he's still got 1.5 seconds to try to gain up to Greg Bell at this point. And something tells me Rafael Franco is going to have something to say about that as we watch the number 36 looking very, very big in the rearview mirror. Nice little bump draft there to Wildman, though, coming down the back straightaway and into Parabolica. Sort the 2 of them down as they run, and that will give us a little bit more of a battle here coming down the main straightaway as they go. And if they are able to hold out, we'll see what happens. Big bump here with number 36. Push. I don't think he's got an intention of stepping behind here. This is all about trying to catch up with the rest of the field. As now, here they come down the back straightaway right now. Here they go. Now, that's some lap cars in front of them. That's Edward Peltz. How is that going to enter into the equation here at this point? 15 minutes or so about down in this race. And there comes a little bit of a move from Francis Castillo-Romero and Andrew Sharp. Sharp having the story that has carried him through this entire season pretty much. He's looked so devilishly quick in qualifying and then has had problems in race pace. And now it looks like Edward Peltz actually going to pull that car down into pit lane. Now, not sure if there was was an issue earlier with Pelt, or what happened. I'm hearing there from our director that he had a solo spin, and that's what's put him farther down in the order. The bump drafting continue here for Rafael Franco and Graham Wildman at the moment as they come down into turn one. The car's bounding down across that unused bit of pavement here as they go, trying to see what they are able to do. It almost looks like he is keeping everything going at this point. And, whoa, Franco getting all kinds of squirrely coming off the corner. We saw that a little bit in qualifying from drivers, and that's the first time during the race that we've seen it as well. Check back in on the battle for the rest of this field. This is farther back down in the order. This is Lordy O'Brien and Patrick Reed, 3 teammates, I believe, actually. And they're kind of in an island unto themselves there as you look back. Miller, Bergquist, Cabana, Barraza, and Serwick, that farther back battle. Well, we've got a little bit of side-by-side here, at least it looked like it. Andrew Sharp and Francis Castillo-Romero coming down the main straightaway right now. Here they are. This is going to be an out-and-out drag race coming down into turn one. That's going to be Castillo-Romero down on the preferred side. He's going to get on the binders early. Sharp's going to try to roll momentum around the high side, and again, that outside line for Sharp just not working. Check back in. Ooh, a little bit of a triangle battle going on farther back down in the field here at this point. That's Kevin Bergquist, I believe, leading away of Nathan Miller and Ian Cabana here at this point, and that's now allowed for Luis Barraza to catch back up into this field here at this point. Tom Stevens, by the way, down and out of pit lane, as is Edward Peltz. Matthew Serwick also looking like the driver of the number 23 is making their pit stop here as they go. You'll have to excuse the pauses in the commentary there, folks. I do have to stop every once in a while and take a drink of water to make sure I'm able to keep on with you here all day long. But this is Barraza right now, and Ian Cabana. Cabana putting up a great fight down into Parabolica here at this moment, trying to roll that momentum around the outside. Going to do the smart thing, tuck up behind in the draft, try to get a little bit more of the run here at this point. As Andrew Sharp just got passed here by Francis Castillo-Romero. Remember, we were watching that battle for several laps, and nothing really came of it until this point. So what will we see here now that Francis Castillo-Romero has been able to get back on by? Will that change things around? Will we see what they are able to do now that they have been able to get themselves back into position here at this point? Let us wait. Let's see what they can get done. As now it looks like we've got a little bit of a battle here again. This is that fight for P4, final stop outside the podium, and it looks like Rafael Franco is absolutely giving it the beans, trying to be able to keep up there at this point with Graham Wildman, trying to will him up forward, push him up forward into this battle of 3 that we see at the front of the field between Moisen, Schneider, and Bell. But it just looks like despite all of their best efforts, they are not able to close back in. The pace from Moisen, Schneider, and Bell is absolutely electric, and they continue to pull away at the front. Francis Castillo-Romero with a little bit of internet issues there for a second. I thought he may have actually dropped connection. But there you can see that blink in front of him, kind of popping in and out there. And he's had a problem. He's going off around the outside of Parabolica into the wall. Contact there for Francis Castillo-Romero. Now, I am not sure if that is a result of that blink necessarily or what that was, but one way or the other, one of your contenders for the top 5 having a real problem here today. You know what, taking a look at that, that's a simple issue. That's bringing too much speed down into Parabolica and the car absolutely letting go. Well, he's going to be able to continue on here at this point, but he'll only be able to continue on in 10th place, so he'll have some serious ground to try to make up, and it actually deposits him pretty much directly behind this battle right now between, that's going to be the 994 of Lordy and O'Brien and Reed in front of him. So that 3-way battle with the Precision Racing Esports drivers, they're going to find themselves now having a faster driver coming up behind them. And how is that going to affect them? How is that going to do for them? Kevin Bergquist looks like he's had a little bit of a problem here at this point. Not sure what it was. Let's go and check out the replay here. Now keep an eye on that multicolored car. That's going to be the one that we need to keep an eye on. Too much speed down into turn 1. It's as simple as that, folks. Just too much speed down into the corner, and that is going to send Bergqvist spun the wrong way around. Luckily, going to be able to get that car reversed and pointed back the right way. But 15.5 minutes left to go. We've got this great little battle here. And excuse me, I do not believe Patrick Reed is actually a member of that Precision Racing Esports team. So that is my mistake. Apologies there about that. It looks like he is with another team. They've just got that silver livery, and that's what threw me off there for the moment. He's for Vulture Motorsports. Thank you to our director, Dustin, for putting that up for me. As now they come down there, looks like I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen Francis Castillo-Romero close up nearly as much as I thought they would on the back of this battle. Remember, Castillo-Romero is running up at the top 5, but well, here may be the answer. He's about just now entering into the draft range here of the drivers in front of him. He's got that gap down to about 9/10 of a second here, and that's going to be the effective draft range for these cars. So that means that's where that will come into play. Now, as we take a look at these three continuing to battle going down into the corner, doesn't look like they're going to have a whole lot to do. By the way, that car that you saw directly in front of them, that is a lapped car. That is not a car that they have to deal with here at this point. That is actually going to be Tom Stevens in 17th position. There you see Tom doing the gentlemanly thing, getting out of the way there and clearing the way for the rest of these drivers. Looks like that's almost a little bit of a dangerous run there for him. 14 minutes left to go. Entering into the area where I've got to think we're going to see these drivers thinking about pit stops. Probably going to try to take it to the absolute end. That's what we normally see out of these drivers. But at the same time, you never know. Maybe somebody's going to go for a little bit of an alternate strategy here. Greg Bell, by the way, did set the fastest lap of the race last time around in his pursuit of Jeremy Schneider, and that time going to be at 57.21. That's the fastest we've seen here today in these sub-1 minute lap times. Been very, very quick all the way around here. So drivers going to have to stay on their toes if they want to keep everything pointed the right way. It's going to be that quick, that way to go. Here they are coming down as it looks like we've got a couple of takers down into pit lane. Nathan Miller and Ian Cabana in the 6 and the 7-7 bore respectively on a perfectly synchronized pit stop strategy. They're both going to pull out of the pit lane at the exact same time. I'll tell you what though, none of your leaders going to make that pull down into pit lane. Moisen, Schneider, and Bell all staying out here, and it looks like, as I just caught a glimpse from behind, Greg Bell, or Rafael Franco, by the way, has gotten by Graham Wildman, and he has said goodnight. He is about 0.3 of a second up the road. That pass being made, I think he is tired of playing rear gunner, and he wants to absolutely put himself into this fight if possible. Now, they do have Nathan Miller in between them, but Miller's getting out of the way. Luis Barraza coming down to the pit lane. Here's a replay of that pass. Looked like Wildman just went wide there. Now, I'm not sure if that was a deliberate move from Wildman to maybe give him that front position, or what it was. Oh, Patrick Reed, one of the drivers that we've been talking about, having a little bit of a bobble there, coming down onto the back straightaway with about 12 minutes left to go. Let's take a look. Oh, caught the grass coming down into turn 3. That sent the car around, didn't hold the brakes there, and that's what allowed for the contact there with the rear of the car. Let's hope he's okay. Let's hope that car is able to continue on without a whole lot of damage. As now the pusher has become the pushy. Graham Wildman making the push here on the back of Rafael Franco. It's Greg Bell continues to hold on to that fastest lap of the race. Now, that blue car that you see behind them, that is not for position. That is Nathan Miller, nor is the next car behind them. That's Ian Cabana. Andrew Sharp is actually the next driver in line with them. He's third in that line, as all the drivers pretty much work their way down the back straightaway right now, headed into the Parabolica. Oop, thought about a little bit of a move there for Andrew Sharp, but decided against it. He's going to pull himself back into line there, and it looks like that is going to be a couple of the drivers getting out of the way. Oh, we've got some takers down pit lane, including Jeremy Schneider, Rafael Franco, and Graham Wildman. That's going to bring them all into the pits here at this point. They are going to have to see what they are able to do. See if anybody's going to be able to get anything to go. There you can see the pit stop counter, obviously the top half of the field not making their pit stops here at this point. I think the big question is going to be is Moisin and Bell. I'm frankly amazed that Moisin's been able to save this much fuel being out in front this entire time. Oh, Wildman with a bad pit stop. 15 seconds, 16 seconds. This could be deadly there for the number 53 and put him way down the order. It's a 19.8 second pit stop. Now, folks, just to give you an idea, that is 2 times the length of the stops we are seeing for everybody else. A good average here is about 9 seconds as your leader, Alexis Moisin, dives down into pit lane. Greg Bell hot on their heels. Sharp follows him in as well. Here they go trundling down that pit lane, and there's frankly no other way to say it. 35-mile-an-hour speed limit here as they come to rest in the box. Looks like neither driver makes a mistake in terms of getting in. How's Andrew Sharp going to do in that position as well? There is Schneider on your screen. This is the competition. Both Bell and Moisin out and on their way with 9 and 8.9 second stops respectively. This could be a little bit close here as Schneider's going to be fully up to chat by the time they come down into the corner, but no! It's going to be Schneider back down into P3. Bell able to gain the position. But with 9 minutes left to go in the race, we've got to assume that all gloves are off. We also have a little bit of a bad news here for fans of James O'Brien and the number 33. Long pit stop there for him, clocking up of 33 seconds here at this point. That's starting to smell a little bit like a pit lane speeding penalty here for the driver of the 33 in the Precision Racing Esports camp. As we keep our eyes here on Jeremy Schneider, it's all down to him. 0.5 of a second, let's call it 0.6 of a second in between himself and Greg Bell to try to gain back in there. O'Brien, by the way, still down in pit lane. Not sure there what happened to him. 8.5 minutes left to go on the clock, though, so we have got to try to see what they are able to do and see if anybody's going to be able to catch Alexis Moisin here for the first time this season. A little bit of lap traffic in front of them. That's Tom Stevens, who looks like he's had it off coming through the woods. Oh, he's going to get back onto the track, but that's going to slow up the leader. Stevens stays out of the way. That car may be damaged. Doesn't look like it slowed him up too much. Yeah, there's left front suspension damage to that number 663 of Tom Stevens. There you can see it hard into the barriers. And dare I say, that is day done if your name is Tom Stevens. Now take a look at the replay. A little bit too much speed into the corner, and oh, big lick there as they go. Hard running there for him, and that's going to see him out of the race, unfortunately. We're going to take a look at the replay here again. Look at how perilous this was if you are Alexis Moisin. And look at that. Did not lift out of the throttle. Oh, as it looks like Greg Bell trying to take a little bit of a move down on Moisin. I think it's game on here, folks. We've got a battle for the lead. Indeed, we do, but now that move from Moisin may have been to his own, or from Bell may have been to their own detriment as Wildman slicing and dicing their way through the field after a slow pit stop. That's Lordy, that's Wildman, that's Castillo-Romero in 6th, 7th, and 8th, the battle that we watch now on your screen. Gloves off here, certainly for all of these drivers, as we said, as they come their way down the back straightaway right now, trying to see what they are able to get out. Are we going to see a move here from Wildman? We've known him to be aggressive. Oh, defense there thrown by Michael Lordy coming down to Parabolica, taking a narrower line. Will that compromise the straight line speed going down the straightaway there? If you are Michael Lordy, let's wait and see. We ride on board with Francis Castillo-Romero. Ooh, and that was a close run. I thought Lordy was almost going to come down into the pits there at that point, but Wildman's had enough. He pokes his nose to what will be the outside of turn 1, and look at this. Francis Castillo-Romero thinking about trying to take a 2-for-1 down into turn 1. That's not going to play out. Wildman goes wide, tries to carry that momentum down through turn 1. It's not going to fan out there for him, but it will on the cutback down through turn 2, but it's still going to be line here to Michael Lordy. Contact between the two, and that's Wildman trying to gather the car back up underneath him. He's got it, but he's lost the position. Oh, big contact there between the two, unfortunately, here. And there may have been a little bit of air in between the two, may have been a little bit of net code, but nevertheless, the battle continues to rage on here for Francis Castillo-Romero and Michael Lordy in between the two. The two of them trying to duke it out here a little bit more, trying to see if Francis Castillo-Romero is going to be able to make the move here with only 5.5 minutes left to go in this race. Time is running out if you want to try to gain those positions, and Francis Castillo-Romero, probably safe to say that 5th place is out of touching distance, considering Lordy's about 11 seconds back of Andrew Sharp, but a little bit of a bump draft there from Francis Castillo-Romero, and that's too much speed for him, hard into the wall. How that car is still functioning here at this point is beyond me. Wildman says, thank you very much. I'll take that position right back from you. But my goodness, talk about a lick there. This is Nathan Miller and Ian Cabana a little bit farther back down in the field. This is the battle for P9 right now. These two are still on the lead lap as they run. They're certainly jerking it out here as they go. Let's take a look at this replay for Castillo-Romero. He didn't expect the break. He did not expect the braking to be quite so early from Michael Lordy. Jinked to the outside as quickly as possible to avoid contact, and that's what sent that car absolutely out of control and into those outside barriers. Yep, there you can see it. Great work by Dustin there to give us that angle, and unfortunately just catching that guardrail just a little bit wrong on the Armco. Yeah, and it looks like here at this point he's going to be coming back down into pit lane. That damage, I would not be surprised if he picked up a meatball flag as a result of it. As we check back in on the battle for the lead, Moisen actually showing a little bit of caution there. I saw a defensive line coming down into Parabolica. Clearly Alexis fearing Greg Bell more than a little bit. Jeremy Schneider behind as well. They've got to be careful if these leading two get themselves into an all-in-all, out-and-out battle here, as again, defensive line taken by Alexis Moisen going down into turn 1. That will preserve the line for them. They will be able to hold on to it, but this is getting closer and closer. As they come onto the back straightaway right now, looks like those gaps have equalized in between the two. But again, Moisen trying to break the draft here, feeling very defensive, feeling like Bell has got the speed. And if I'm Greg Bell here at this point, this is good news to me. This is the first time over the course of this entire season, and remember, folks, we're about halfway through the season here at this point, that we have seen Alexis Moisen be under pressure. I mean, Alexis has been able to absolutely run away. Sounds like we've got a little bit of a replay here. Patrick Reed, a slow, lazy spin there. The rear end of the car just not complying and coming down into the corner as here comes the action. Bell chucks it down into turn 1, trying to make that work. It's not going to play out, but he is giving notice here to Alexis Moisen. And I'll tell you who else is giving notice. That's Jeremy Schneider, looking very aggressive on the back of the number 14. I think Schneider would love to make this a bump drive to victory 1-2. Here they come, though. Down the back straightaway. Here's a little bit of the movement. Here's a little bit of that draft games that get played. They come to the line. They're going to be coming over here with just under 2 minutes to go. I'm going to have to do some quick math as they cross over the line, but I believe this is going to be 2 laps to go here for these drivers. Battle farther back in the field. Nathan Miller and Ian Cabana trying to see what they are able to do. That car behind them, that is Edward Peltz. He is a lap down. He is not involved in this whatsoever, but they're trying to hold it out to the best of their ability. possibilities. Again, we see the defensive lines being taken there by Moisen. Bell now trying for a little bit of an over-under, and if my math is correct, they are going to be coming to the white flag this time around. Let's keep our eyes here on the battle for the lead. We haven't seen Greg Bell be this quite close before. Carries good momentum out of turn 3. Let's see if he's able to get the draft now coming down the Parabolica. There you see, again, trying to break that draft here if you are Moisen, but that's not going to be enough to deter Greg Bell. Bell looks to the outside here. Gets on the binders going down into Parabolica. Is not able to get the move done there, but he could be looking at a little bit of an over-under move here. But Moisen shuts the door, holding off on that inside line. Greg Bell has to fall back a little bit, maybe trying to get a little bit of a side draft here as they go. 52 seconds on the clock. White flag in the air from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go from Monza, and we're side by side for the lead. Greg Bell marginally ahead, but on the preferred line is Alexis Moisen. Bell not able to get it sent down into the corner. Moisen will hold him off coming down through turn 1. Going down into 2 now. It looked like Jeremy Schneider was going to be involved in this conversation, but he's now fallen 0.6 of a second back as they come onto the back straightaway. 0.3 separating Bell and Moisen. Call that gap about 2 car lengths. Moisen knows the ability here of the draft, weaving back and forth with the big dragon move as they hustle their way down the back straightaway, trying to see if there's going to be able to get a run. Bell takes a look to the inside, doesn't see it there. Here they come, down into Parabolica for the final time. Alexis Moisen looking for perfection. Greg Bell looking to upset. Here they come, Bell all the way onto the grass. It looks like it's going to be Moisen. It is going to be Moisen. A perfect season continues by 87 thousandths of a second. Farther back down in the field, some very close battles as well. Rafael Franco barely able to edge ahead of Andrew Sharp. We focus here on that other battle that we were following, Nathan Miller and Ian Cabana. Are they going to be able to get this to play? Are they going to be able to get this to sort themselves out by the time they get down into the running? Here they come. Coming down out of the corner here. If history has proved us anything, it's that Miller is going to be able to hold this position over Cabana. Indeed, I think he will, unless he runs out of fuel, crosses the line. And that is P8 for Nathan Miller. Well held there for the driver there of that machine. Matthew Serwick coming across the line right now, and it looks like the only driver we have left to compete is Kevin Bergquist, as Kevin Bergquist crosses over the line. Well, it is victory yet again for Alexis Moisen. They're up on the top of the charts as you would expect. The perfect season continuing. Trying to carry on in the tire tracks of Sean Campbell before them as they try to make their way to get the perfect season. And I've got to say here for Alexis Moisen, it certainly looks like it's off to that. Greg Bell coming home in P2, followed by Jeremy Schneider. Only 0.7 of a second separating those top 3, and what a thrilling battle it was to the line. Rafael Franco came home in P4. Andrew Sharp only managing 5th here on the day, but still some good points picked up for the darkroom driver. Michael Lordy comes home P6, followed by Graham Wildman. A little bit of a yo-yo race there today for Graham. Not the best running, but 7th place, still some good points. Nathan Miller came home in P8, followed by Ian Cabana, and then Luis Barraza rounds out your top 10. So we move down into 11th. It was Matthew Zerwick, followed by Kevin Bergquist, the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Then it was James O'Brien and Edward Peltz, 1 lap down. When we get into some drivers that had some trouble out there today, Francis Castillo-Romero, Patrick Reed, and Tom Stevens, the rest of your running order. Well, as we don't have to wait anymore, it looks like we have got the one, the only, Mr. Graham Wildman coming up here into the booth. Graham, welcome to the booth. How was the race out there today? It looked like a little bit of a yo-yo.
Yeah, circumstances are outside or inside my control. Just kind of ruined a shot at a really good result there.
Well, I mean, it looked like the number 53 had pace, and I've got to say there that, I mean, you were making the right decisions. Is this a race that you can take a little bit of a I hate to use this term, moral victory from, to be able to walk out of there and kind of carry on into the rest of the half of the season?
Yeah, I didn't expect to have this much pace in the race. During qualifying there, I was really struggling, but I kept making up positions, bad pit stop, and then the contact there at the end. It definitely, I felt like I could do better than what the results show.
Well, I think you certainly could as well. We head to Mid-Ohio, kind of the utterly different circuit when you talk about it. How do you think Mid-Ohio's going to go for you?
Oh, I hope better than this, man. I've been having some rough luck so far this season, and anything's better than this at this point.
All right, and listen, while I've got you here, Grim, settle a debate for us. How do you pronounce your last name? I want to make sure I'm getting it right, my friends.
It's Wildman.
Wildman? Okay.
Yep.
Chat's been saying other things. That's what I thought. I didn't think the English language works that way, but all right, Graham, thank you so much for joining us. Good race here, all things considered. Who'd you like to thank?
I'd like to thank you guys. Honestly, all my friends are out there watching. They just love the show you guys are putting on, so I appreciate the dedication you guys have coming every Monday to put on a good show for everybody.
Well, Graham, we're happy to do it. Best of luck to you next time out. We'll see you at Mid-O.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Graham Wildman there, your driver. The mystery solved on how exactly to pronounce his last name. But yeah, Mid-Ohio, our next circuit that we will visit here in the GR86 series. I mean, Monza, this was a battle all about speed, all about the draft. Mid-Ohio, all about car control, all about getting things right, all about absolutely making sure that you do not make a mistake, otherwise it will come back to bite you. I am very much looking forward to racing in Mid-Ohio, one of my favorite circuits to run on the entire calendar, and I'm so happy that it has been added on in here at this point. So we will be there next week, July 31st at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Unfortunately, yours truly I will not be there. I will be down in Nashville, unfortunately, for the Music City Grand Prix, covering the GR86 series. So if you want to see these cars in action, tune in live to be able to watch that. If you're in the Nashville area, make your way to that. And if not, make sure to be able to watch the GR86 Cup as yours truly and fellow RaceSpot commentator Joe Peak are on the call for that the entire weekend long. But Mid-O going to be a great track to be able to go to nonetheless for these drivers. But our action is not done here for the time being. That's right. We've got another whole series to be able to run at you. It's going to be the GT3 and GT4 and LMP3 series. I knew I was going to do that. It was only a matter of time before I did that. And here live from the Nürburgring. Obviously not running Nordschleife. We don't have to worry about that. But it is going to be the World Endurance layout. So very interesting there for that. As we take a look at the schedule here in Round 5, we head to Jerez next time out. Then Road America, Willow Springs near me. Very excited for that one. Virginia International Raceway, one of the absolute road racing gems. I cannot wait for us to go there. And to quote Paul Newman, if there is a heaven on earth, it is VIR. And then we head to Aragon there to round out our season. We do have some championship points to be able to run you on through here at this point. It's Connor Wagner up at the top of the GT4 is doing a great job. Connor hasn't been able to completely dominate, has lost a race or two here or there. But Miguel Ruiz keeping him honest. William Brennan, Nicholas Schwartz, all in that battle as well. Justin Ream, the winner last time out, putting some good points down on the board. Ream is one to watch out for, and I can tell you here in practice today from the Nürburgring, he is P1 in the GT4 category. Doug Evans is in P6 with 153 points, tied with Jeffrey Seabach. Then it's Austin Wilkins, Alex De Almeida, and Nathan Deering rounding out your top 10 for the GT4s. As we switch on over here into the team standings, it's Delta Sport OG in GT4 leading the way, but not by a whole lot. Only about 20 or so points ahead of Whataback Back Row. Then it's Hyperion Racing GT4, KJ Sim Sports rounding out your top 4 and those teams that are up into the 200s category. Blue Macaw Esports finds themselves in P5th, only a single point away from Maradness M Squad Black. That's Forward Momentum Racing, Aerokinetics, Big Fast Racing, and J-Racing rounding out your top 10. We also have standings for the LMP3 category. Wayne Castile is leading the way, but as we said, not dominance there from Wayne. We've seen a couple of mistakes in the driver of the number 3. Hopefully going to be able to mitigate those here today in Germany, but we will have to see. Mariano Barrios is in P2, about 30 or so points behind Castile. Then it's Alec Bergstrom. Walker Caton finds himself in P4, very closely contested there with Darian Roy and Joshua Chinsky and Jake Haskell. Rounding out your top 7, Mark Kalin, Adam Brockway, and Bradley Holly round out your top 10. We also have LMP3 teams standings here to be able to bring on into at the moment, and that's going to be Moradness M Squad Purple leading the way by a pretty sizable amount. Walking Pace Racing about 50 points behind them. Then it's Broken UI Racing, one of my favorite names in the grid. Whataback Racing Overdrive finds himself in P4. Then it's Precision Racing Esports in P5. Evolve Sim Sports LMP3 finds themselves in a little bit of an island unto themselves, followed by YS Simsport, SRT Esport, who's in a good battle there with Vulture Motorsports, and then Hyperion Racing LMP3 rounds out your grid here, your top 10 as they run. And that means that we are ready to join on in for some of the racing action from the Nürburgring. Again, this the Grand Prix layout using that full Mercedes Arena section. Going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. We are about 30 seconds left to go in qualifying. Let's go ahead and leave you with some engine noises here at the moment, and we'll pick it up in qualifying. ride. There is nothing better than listening to the absolute pure adrenaline that our engine noise is working their way around here at the Nürburgring. And you'll have to forgive your commentator for giving you that and not talking you through everything. Folks, I'm solo tonight, so I needed to just take a break and make sure I had a voice by the end of the broadcast. But we follow our championship leader here, Wayne Castile, as he works his way down towards the Dunlop hairpin right now, trying to see if he's able to pick it up using every inch of the track. We haven't seen any times get set down quite yet, but as drivers told us last week, this is probably going to play itself out very similarly to what we saw in Suzuka, that we're going to see some relatively smooth sailing, some relatively decent sailing here early on. Then things are going to switch around once traffic becomes involved. This is going to be an absolute chaos fest once again. So that is going to be what they are able to get. We're going to jump on board here in this chicane. Now, this is a little bit of a strange chicane when we talk about it. It's not traditional, the traditional one that's laid. This is the World Endurance layout of the chicane. It's a little bit faster, it's a little bit wider, and it presents a little bit of a back and forth when you talk about overtaking opportunities. Yes, it is wider. There's a little bit more of a flow to it than the traditional Grand Prix layout when we talk about it, but because it's faster, you're not braking as much, and that's going to throw things out a little bit. We do have our first time on the board, though. Mr. Ozzy Milwane going to be up on the top of the charts in the 114 with a 149.962. Adam Brockway very close behind him, only 52 thousandths of a second back from him. And he is going to be hoping to be able to close on in. Now Joey Haynes is going to be able to jump up into the top of the running order here as they go. Here they run. And here we go, working their way on out. Let's see who can do it. And we have a very special visitor here tonight in the Precision Racing League. If you folks look at number 4, the number 35 machine, fresh off his advisory role in Iowa, Mr. Tony Kanaan has joined the session. Great to welcome TK on in. A fixture here, obviously, on iRacing and racing in the wheel world. We are more than happy to welcome Tony into this series. Going to be wishing him some good luck here up from the booth. And, well, selfishly, I hope he gets on the podium so I can talk to him. But we will have to see. That is Tony working his way around. As we said, 4th place, only about 0.43 seconds off of the top of that LMP3 category. As we look back down into the GT3s, Austin Wilkins leading the way with the time there of, looks like that's going to be a 2:01.67. So he'll lead the way. About 37 thousandths of a second behind him, though, is Justin Ream. Here's Jeff Evans, currently 4th place, finding himself let's call it about a second off. There's Jeff on the screen right now. Very easily distinguishable purple car, or pink car, rather. I know my colors. As Ozzy Milwane rockets back up to the top of the charts with a 49.541. Good running there for him. Castile going to be hoping to be able to get back on that. Brockway holding on to P4. Here we go, following the 14. Brockway back up to the top of the LMP3 categories with a 149.563. We continue to follow Jeff Evans here, though. Walker Caton comes up into P9 of the LMP3s. Got to wait a little bit here for the GT4s to be able to cross over the line. It's still Wilkins, Ream, and Connor Wagner, your top 3. Evans holding on to P4 as he comes down out of the hairpin at the moment. Here they go. Trying to see what he is able to get. Trying to see if he's able to get a whole lot of anything here. All of these drivers wanting to push as much as possible. There's the number 94 on your screen at the moment. This is Michael Terrafino, another familiar name in the PRL, as it could be there for him. Says right now, according to our timing, that he's up a second on his best time. So that could be an absolutely monster run there for Terrafino. We know Terrafino's abilities. He is very, very good. Very, very, very quick. Oh, going to have a big off there. And that is going to send him right around. And he is going to have to re-rack and restack here at this point. Tony Kanaan back on your screen. TK's been bumped down to 7th place here at this point as he works his way now down through the left and right flick that leads us onto the back straightaway here at this point. Tony's going to be hoping for a little bit of a better gain. Floyd Kerr right behind him just set a personal best time of a 150.3. Looks like Milwane and Castile not able to have anything there for Adam Brockway. But important to remember here, Brockway only 4 thousandths ahead of everybody else as Brockway sets another personal best lap there, jumping him up barely ahead of Alec Bergstrom. Here's Walker Caton coming out of P12. What's he going to be able to do as Caton crosses over the line? That's good enough for P8. Back down to the GT4 category, Justin Ream has been able to jump up into P1, jumping over this man, Austin Wilkins, on his way. Mariano Barrios up into 12th in the LMP3 category. Good running there for him. Your top 5 in GT4, though, Ream, Wilkins, Wagner, Deering, and John Duong. They're good running there for all of them. And I love to see this. It's Porsche, Mercedes, Mercedes, Porsche. So 2 makes up into the top 5. Travis Chapman, currently your highest-rated BMW driver. He sits in 28th overall. We continue to watch Austin Wilkins coming down through that fast modified chicane as he comes down here now into the final corner. Let's see what he's got in the taps as he comes onto the main straightaway. Here he comes. Can Wilkins improve on that 2:01.6? Yes, he can. That's going to be an improvement there for Austin Wilkins. That'll bump him up into P2 ahead of Connor Wagner. All right, Wayne Castile could be on a very, very hot lap here. He's currently P4 as he works his way now down through the back half of the circuit, coming into the chicane here at this point. Gonna fling the number 3 around the corners, clobbering over those curbs. Here he comes, 45 seconds left on the clock. Make it 40 seconds left on the clock. Maybe a little bit of an awkward line there coming down through the Coca-Cola curve. But Castile's going to cross over the line there, a 49.2 and purple up to the top of the charts. Wayne Castile is on pole. Here's Nathan Deering here in the number 24 machine, trying to improve right now on a 2:02. Let's see if he's able to get a little bit better of a run there. Deering currently in 4th place in that category in the GT4 class, although unfortunately here I don't think he's going to have enough time to get back around and get back in, as indeed the checkered flag flies, and that'll bring us to your qualifying results here, your provisional starting grid from the Nürburgring for our 40-minute race around this temple of racing action. It's going to be Wayne Castile lining up in pole position ahead of Adam Brockway in P2, but it's Ozzie Milwane and Alec Bergstrom in row 2. Joey Haynes lines up in P5, followed by David Duino in P6 in the number 5 machine. Tony Kanaan lining up in P7, the new face here in the series. Walker Caton going to be flanking him in P8. Austin Lawrence, Mariano Barrios in row 5 behind them, with Floyd Kerr and Ryan Reeves in P12. Moving back down through the order, it's Eric Harmon for Waterback Racing Overdrive lining up in unlucky 13, then Michael Terrafino in P14. Jake Haskell lines up 15th, followed by Darian Roy. Then it's Mark Kalin and Joshua Chinsky. Behind them, Bradley Holly, Brinson Generu, and Nicholas Salapudis. Moving on over into the GT4 category, Justin Ream back on pole position as he was last time out. Then it's Austin Wilkins, Connor Wagner, and Nathan Deering lining up in row 2 with John DeWong and Turner Stroll in row 3. Row 4 is Jeff Evans with Travis Chapman to his outside. Then it's William Brennan and Aaron Create in row 5. Alex Almeida is in 11th, followed by Scott Angelo in P12. P13, Douglas Corey, followed by Matt Brewer. Miguel Ruiz lines up in P15, followed by Kyle Bishop. Then it's Jared Deploy and Jeffrey Seabach behind them. As we continue to roll down through the order, only 3 cars left in that GT4 category. Will Jennings 19th, Matthew Campbell 20th, and Doug Evans to round out your 21-car GT4 field. It's going to be good running here. You can be sure of that. Rest assured for all of them. So here we go, lining up on the back straightaway, getting ready to go. This is going to be fun, folks. You do not want to miss this at all. You are not going to want to miss any of this racing action. Rest assured. Ooh, was that blink there or a potential issue for Adam Brockway? I'm not showing him as gridded up here at the moment. Indeed, he's going to be falling back down through the order. Brockway, your P2 driver, is going to be starting, looks like out of this race potentially. He's not even gridded up in the pit lane here at this point. So everybody going to gain a position here in the early running. Interesting there, it looks like Ozzy Milwayne actually giving him space there, and then basically gives Wayne Castile the entire front row all to himself if Milwayne decides to keep that position. I'm not entirely sure what the rules here are in the Precision Racing League when it comes to that, but the pace car is pulled off down to the pit lane, put 40 minutes up on the clock, put Wayne Castile up at the front of this LMP3 field, and here we go! There goes the green. We are racing here in Germany. It's a good getaway from Castile. Meanwhile, Bergstrom and Milwayne going to be fighting it out for P2 behind. Joey Haynes, David Duino, Tony Kanaan trying to fight their way out. Kanaan down to the inside as the GT4 field also gets underway. They're perfectly Noah's Ark down into the corner. This is a big, big point of consternation for all of these drivers. It looks like the LMP3 has been able to get through it nice and cleanly as they're going to get their way back into single file order coming down through the Mercedes Arena section. The GT4 field has done the same thing, but we're 3 wide up for the front of the GT4s. My goodness gracious. I don't know how they were able to keep that together. Ream holds it off. Austin Wilkins up 2. Connor Wagner up 2. They're pushing and shoving their way all the way through this field. Is there as we focus in on that very bright pink machine trying to work their way up through. A little bit of an action from behind. That's Travis Chapman trying to hold off Aaron Create here, coming down into the left-hander of Valvoline. And it looks like that Mercedes is able to get the line done. Looks like the LMP4, the LMP3 field able to hold off in relatively single-file order here, but that's not going to wait for too long as they catch back up to the rest of this field. Things are going to get a little bit crazy here, I'd have to imagine. Let's take a look. And it looks like here that Brockway is able to get himself back under order here at this point. So he's going to be able to get himself back up into the field. We focus in here on the middle of the LMP3 field at the moment as they get their way going back out onto the main run. Looks like that's going to be Ozzy Milwayne, Joey Haynes. Oh, crash behind! Multiple drivers, Floyd Kerr and Austin Lawrence off, coming down through the hairpin, I believe. And that's going to send them out to the outside. And that is going to be right in the midst of the GT4 field. Oh, Wayne Castile is off! Just as we saw him make a mistake the last 2 rounds, Castile is off, going down through the final chicane. He finds himself falling down through the order into 9th place. All right, we're going to be getting you those replays here in just a few moments' time. Got a couple other drivers that look like they went off. I think I heard Mark Kalin potentially went off. Barely going to be in the front of the LMP or the GT4 field here at the moment. Good action, though, through the rest of the order. The LMP3 is keeping relatively close together. Here is that problem with Lawrence that we saw going down through the second part of the curves. And I got to say there, that's a little bit of miscommunication. That's a little bit of over-eager drivers for them. Oh, spin on screen. That's the number 10 machine. That's Matt Brewer getting sent off there. Now, not sure if that was contact or if that was necessarily just a self-spin that caught a couple of drivers. This is Brewer in the center of your screen, diving down to the inside. That was contact. That was definitely contact coming down into the corner. Focus back in on the number 142 machine. A little bit farther down in the order here as they go. That's going to be LMP3 traffic trying to work their way on by him. That's Austin Lawrence, courtesy of that big incident that we saw earlier. And now down to the inside of the 13. That was Miguel Ruiz, the 142, trying to be able to make that play. Great stuff there from Ruiz, recognizing that opportunity and being able to sail his way on by. Absolutely love it. This was Mark Kalin's incident, just too aggressive there with the curbs coming down through the last chicane. And that sent Kalin off into the outside. He's able to lock it down enough. There he goes and gets it back pointed the right way. We focus back in on this absolute gaggle of cars that we see duking it out here back down in the GT4 class. This is the number 34 machine that you see on your screen. That's William Brennan, Will Jennings, and Douglas Corey behind them. Corey looking like he's trying to be dropped a little bit as the BMW tries to work his way forward. He is your highest ranked BMW at the moment. On the corner of your screen, you see a check-in on your leaders in the LMP3 category. Bergstrom, Milwayne, Hayes, Duino, and Kanaan all all running together. Walker Caton maybe into that mix as well, as Tony Kanaan sends a nice little move down to the inside and says, thank you very much. I'd like to take that P5 away, but Caton not giving up the ghost. He and TK going to be absolutely duking it out coming down through the corner here as they go. Looks like TK's finally got the position, and that will move the Brazilian up into P5. Caton, though, his worries are not done. That's Mariano Barrios up to his rear exhaust right now as they're going to try to close in. A little bit of a battle. Douglas Corey looks like he loses a position there on the corner of your screen as that BMW continues to fall the wrong way through the field. That's Jared Duploy, the latest driver that was able to get by him. Will Jennings going to be trying to get that in as we go full screen here on the LMP3 battle. I believe that is Walker Caton on your screen, trying to hold off on enough attack here from Mariano Barrios from behind. Castile, Reeves, and Harmon also there in line. Tony Kanaan starting to stretch away to the tune of about 0.5 of a second from the front of this little pack. Ooh, a little bit of a look there, it has to be said. I think that was... that was Castile trying to take a little bit of a look as there we follow Castile on your screen. Remember, he was, that's Ryan Reeves on your screen. Remember, Castile was up into... This is Castile on board. Remember, he was leading this race and made an unforced error that sent him off and around as now they come down through the chicane right now. Going to back off a little bit, try to give them a little bit more room. Was that a car off in the background? Yes, it was. Ryan Reeves getting the chicane wrong, and he is speared off into the outside, much as we saw Mark Kalin do not too long ago. But as he rejoins the track here at this point, Ozzy Milwane sets the fastest lap of the race from P2, so this battle certainly on here at this point, and they're going to try to be making their way back up forward. We take a look at the replay here of Reeves. Yeah, just got it wrong there. Was he able to lock it down before he made contact with the wall? Yes, he was. That was some great car control. Oh, we've got a big issue in front. That's Chinsky off in front of Reeves. He's going to be able to gather everything up underneath him, but still some very scruffy driving here from these drivers, and we haven't even gotten ourselves into traffic yet. This is Darian Roy. Oh, Chinsky just got the braking zone wrong there on Darian Roy, and there you can see that whole rear wing assembly gone from his car. So not what he wanted to have happen by any stretch of the imagination. We focus back in on the number 22 as he takes a little bit of a look down to the inside. This is going to be the replay here from Chinsky's perspective. Yeah, just got the braking zone wrong. Got that braking zone completely and totally wrong there. And that is what sent him directly into the rear view of that car. As now he tries to make his way back up through the field here at this point and see what he can do. We focus in on the battle right now. Leaders still haven't fully caught the back of the GT4 field, and that's when you know chaos is going to absolutely erupt. Scotty Angelo looks like he's had a little bit of an issue here in the GT4 field. Caught a little bit of grass coming down into Valvoline, and that was just enough to be able to send that car spinning off just a little bit. And it looks like we're going to focus back in on David Duino right now. Good battle with Joey Haynes behind. Duino, not a name that we've called a whole lot over the course of this season, but he now finds himself under massive pressure from Joey Haynes as he tries to be able to close on in here at this point. Is Haynes going to take a little bit of a poke to the inside as they come down into the corner? Doesn't look like it. They're going to stay in single file order as they go back down to GT4. This is Douglas Corey under attack here. Looks like that's Will Jennings. Jared Deploy trying to get around him. Deploy in the number 13. That's Corey trying to hold him off, and hold him off indeed he does. That is the bravest little BMW you've ever seen as it gets very jumbled up behind him as they come down into the left-hander. Oh, 3 wide as that's Corey losing 2 positions. The little BMW that could here at this point. The 25 going to be dumped down into very bad run there for them. Chinsky and Roy both coming down into pit lane, by the way, getting their damage repaired here at this point. We continue to focus in as Douglas Corey tries to hold off to those positions, and Roy and Chinsky absolutely plummet down through the order courtesy of all of that. At the front of the GT4 category, it continues to be Justin Ream, but this is the battle for 4th right now in the GT4s. This is John DeWong, Nathan Deering trying to close in a little bit. Turner Schroll also not too far behind as well. Let's see what they've got in the fight here as we're about 9 minutes down in this race, but still plenty of time left on the clock and plenty of action coming your way. Rest assured, as they go, they are going to be in very, very good stead as they try to roll themselves around here through at this point. Good running for all of these drivers, as we've said. Gotta love a little bit the fact that we're seeing things relatively clean here at this point. We've seen a couple little incidents fire off, but nothing too bad. Here is Walker Caton, currently in 6th place at the moment. Tony Kanaan being able to stretch away from him. Caton under attack here from Mariano Barrios and Wayne Castile, not too far behind them as well. Now they've got to hurry on up here as Kanaan is slipping off into the distance to the tune of about 1.7 seconds after Kanaan was able to make that pass on Caton, and he has moved his way up forward in the order and absolutely pushing here at this point. But remember, Wayne Castile not too far behind these drivers either. Castile on a redemption drive after making a mistake on the first lap. As here they go. This is really the battle to keep our eyes on here right now. Mariano Barrios and Wayne Castile, as it looks like Castile trying to put pressure onto the back. Not going to fly here for the moment, and they keep themselves together and keep themselves orderly coming out of the chicane, out of the hairpin. But it looks like a mistake from Barrios could open up the opportunity here for Wayne Castile. He's going to look around the outside here, almost throwing the car off into the grass. And that, folks, is why he is one of the best, sending the car around, and he is able to get that position gain. Castile back up into 7th place. Here as we check back in a little bit farther up in the field at the moment. This is going to be the number 114 machine, Mill Wayne. Oh, Floyd Kerr looks like he's had a little bit of a problem farther back down in the field at the moment. Let's see if he's able to hold off anything as he runs, trying to go a little bit of side by side there, trying to see what they are able to do. This is Reeves directly up ahead of him. Reeves able to hold him off at the moment. Tony Kanaan setting the fastest lap of the race as he ran, and that is a warning sign to the rest of the field in front of him. That is absolutely mega there for TK. He's already caught up to the back of Joey Haynes. All right, so what is TK going to be able to do here on the back of the number 99 machine? Here he goes down into the corners at the moment, through the right, now through the left. Ooh, a little bit of a lockup there from Joey Haynes. But TK definitely starting to exert some pressure here, maybe trying to force a little bit of an error before they reach traffic. TK thought about a little bit of a move going down into the hairpin, sees the door open. Haynes going to shut it a little bit as he just tried to diamond off the corner a little bit. And now here comes TK, looking to the outside. He's not going to be able to get it done, but is he able to get anything on the crossover? Here he comes, looking up as they go through the Michael Schumacher S, now going through the Vidal chicane. Let's see what they're able to do. Here he comes, not able to get it done quite yet. Looks like Terrafino's had a little bit of an issue farther back down in the field. There you see a little bit of a strange one, it has to be said. Maybe just a little bit of understeer picked up there on corner exit. All right, as we focus back in on Tony Kanaan, there's the aggressiveness that we have come to know for the driver of the number 35, down into the inside there of Joey Haynes, and move done for Tony Kanaan. Oh, but Haynes trying to fight back a little bit here at this point. Let's see what he can do. And Haynes able to get the position back from the champion there. But TK going to hold the inside line as they come back through the Mercedes-Benz Arena section, trying to see what he is able to do, trying to see if he's able to get anything. Here they go down into the corner, trying to make anything work. It doesn't look like it will at the moment. TK shuts the door. That was as close could be. Big battle for the lead, though, here. Bergstrom, Milwain, Duino, and traffic is involved. Going to be able to navigate their way through that somehow. I'm not sure how, but they were able to do it here at this point. Here they go, and here comes TK trying to make his way back up through the field. right, here they go, trying to see what they are able to do. Oh, splitting the difference of a car in between as they go. My goodness, and that is Milwayne trying to take a look, and Duino not taking no for an opportunity. As here they come back onto the straightaway, a little bit of a blink there from Bergstrom up in front. That's not what you want to see if you are racing around him here at this point. And let's see if they can get anything to go here as they run 1, 2, 3 in order, and they've got to be worried. Tony Kanaan only 2 seconds behind, getting their way out of some clear traffic there. That's Matt Brewer that was able to get out of the way as here they come back onto the main straightaway. Are we going to see this draft come into play? Oh, hearing some reports that there may be some damage farther back down in the field. We'll let you know as we've got our first taker down into the pits. Looks like Jake Haskell is going to be coming down in here with 25 minutes left to go in this race as he is going to bring his car down into pit lane. And look at this, folks. Tony Kanaan is caught back up to the battle, as this is Castile. Got a little bit squirrely there coming off at the corner. Contact with the GT4. Oh, my goodness gracious. And more contact as they go. That is not good for any of those drivers involved in Castile having another scruffy race out here today. All right, looks like there that we've had maybe a couple of drivers taking some damage as a result of that. As we focus back in on your leaders here, that is Duino trying to piece his way on by the lap traffic, and that is Ozzie Milwayne directly in front of him. As here they go. And there's Kanaan working his way on through up here as they're trying to get their way back up through. Now looks like they've got a little bit of clean traffic. They've got a little bit of clean. Looks like they're going to be catching up the battle for P5 here in the GT4 category, and that's going to make things very, very interesting as they run. A couple of those GT4s taking this opportunity to dive down into pit lane. That looks like that's going to be Evans and Almeida coming down in. They want no part of the battle. They're getting out of it. As we keep our eyes focused on that battle. Oh, TK not taking no for an answer, looking down to the inside. They try to piece their way through some traffic. All right. Oh, that's Tony Kanaan around. Got onto the loud pedal a little bit early. I'm not sure if there was contact there with another driver or what exactly happened for the Brazilian driver, but gets back on track. Almost a dangerous avoid there with another car, and that's going to put him all the way back down into P6. Eric Harmon now all over his gearbox. Oh, there we go. We got a car off and around here at this point. That's the number 617. That's Eric Harmon, who's gotten into a little bit of trouble. Checking back in on the battle for P2. Ozzie Milwayne, David Duino right now. Alec Bergstrom been able to catch ahead of them a little bit. So he's going to be able to pull off into the distance right now, and that's going to be good running there for Bergstrom. We've seen him do this a couple of times. Indeed, we've seen the leaders of the LMP3 category do this more than once to be able to hold that in and stretch a little bit of an advantage here. And that is your leader overall. That is Bergstrom working his way on by. Now, that's Austin Wilkins up ahead of him. That LMP3 that you see behind him directly, that is a lapped car. That is Darian Roy getting out of the way there of the battle for P2 at the moment. All right, here we've got a little bit of a battle right now. Wayne Castile, Tony Kanaan a little bit farther back down in the order. This is TK trying to be able to gather his way back up forward. He's going to look down to the inside there of your pole sitter and get that move done. TK with a very, very aggressive and decisive maneuver, getting it done, getting exactly where he needs to be. The question is, how close is he going to be able to move his way back up forward? we ride on board right now with Wayne Castile holding in behind Tony Kanaan, trying to see if there's a little bit of an opportunity as they work their way by some lap traffic and try to see what they can do as they go. Here they work their way around. Now they've got a big gap to try to gain back up to Joey Haynes. Tony Kanaan still about 6 seconds behind him, and Wayne Castile trying to be able to close in as well and see what they are able to do. Castile not quite able to close in as much as he would like, and TK can extend a little bit more. Focusing in a little farther back down in the field, this is Floyd Kerr chasing Bradley Holly, the battle for P7 at the moment. Let's see what they're able to do as they work their way on through. They're going to have to deal with Nathan Deering and Turner Stroll up ahead of them. That is going to be 5th and 4th in the GT4 category. But look how close all over the back Kerr is here at the moment. Really, really aggressive on this. He's going to try to take the move down into the left-hander. Here he goes, pushing his way out wide, but that's not taking no for an answer. There is Bradley Holly in the purple machine. He's going to be able to hold that car around as they come out of the corner. Brilliant stuff there from Holly. And look at him. Look at Bradley there. We've seen this so many times from him over the course of his running in the MX-5 series. Cool as a cucumber, even though he is full elbows out. It is absolutely fantastic. And I've got to say, Bradley, love the new setup. We haven't seen that out of him. At least I haven't seen that out of him recently. So love to be able to see that there for him. But Kerr right now going to try to close in behind a little bit more, see if he's able to get anything to play. But Holly's got him at, for the moment. Looks like Aaron Create down into pit lane, as is Eric Harmon, I believe, at the moment, although Harmon's got a little bit of damage on the car. You'll have to excuse me on my water breaks there, as that was a little bit of a mistake from Bradley Holly, and that's all the opportunity Floyd Kerr needs, moving around the outside, getting it done. Fantastic stuff there from him, just recognizing that opportunity, forcing Holly into a little bit of a mistake and getting it done. We check back in the battle for 8th in the GT4 category. This is William Brennan and Scott Angelo right now. 2 Mercedes duking it out at the moment. What are they going to be able to do? Are they going to be able to get anything to play here at this point? Let's see. Angelo looking for that opportunity anywhere he can find it, as they've got a little bit more of LMP3 traffic coming up behind them. Going to move over to the right-hand side, driver's right-hand side of the track as they go. Looks like that's going to be good running there for him, and the LMP3 gets by, but that throws Brennan offline just a little bit. Brennan has to gather up back under him. Looks like Angelo not able to respond, but a big wiggle coming off of the corner there for William Brennan, and Scott Angelo still not able to respond here, although he is certainly trying. David Duino setting the fastest lap of the race at a P2 as he tries to close in on the back of Alec Bergstrom. There you see Angelo trying to take a little bit of a look there on the back of Brennan. That certainly did not work out for him. Hearing right now that Brewer has had a big off. Coming down, a little bit of LMP3 traffic got him spooked there coming up through the Michael Schumacher S. And he was able to, unfortunately not able to avoid any of that coming together here at the moment. It looks like he's broken his left front suspension there, and that's going to be an off for him. As we focus back in on the number 34 right now, Brennan and Angelo, as they work their way around, getting passed by a few more of those LMP3 cars as they go. Looks like they were able to keep everything together, and that battle's going to dissipate here for the moment. Let's go back in and check in on the battle for the lead of the LMP3 category here at this moment, because I'll tell you something, it is back on and in full force here. Bergstrom leaning over Duino. Remember, Duino just set the fastest lap of the race, and Ozzie Milwain only a second back from them, so this is certainly on, although that's not going to help Milwain having to get around some of that lap traffic. I'm going to take a quick ride on board here for a moment, give you some real engine noises from the sound of Ozzie Milwain. And bad news for fans of Tony Kanaan as we are hearing that he and Castile may have just had a coming together. We'll get that replay pulled up for you in a moment's time. Oh, it was unrelated, excuse me, unrelated incident, but for the two of them, as Kanaan just had an errant failure there. Not sure what happened there to him. It was the outside curb that got him. And that is what threw him around. Didn't hit anything, so he's going to be able to continue on here at this point, but still a very rough run for him. Ozzy Milwane continues on here in third place of the race. Lost a lot of time up to David Duino. Here is what happened to Castile as he comes down through it. Oh, looks like that curbing again coming back to bite. And I think that is him out of the race. He took a toe back down into pit lane here at this point. We're going to focus back in on that battle that we've been following. But I'll tell you what, we got a lot of pitters coming down from the GT4 category. Looks like Wilkins, Duong, Ruiz. I've also seen Justin Reed and Connor Wagner all coming down into pit lane. Waiting for the moment here that we're going to see the rest of these drivers make their stops down into the pits. Not sure when that will be, but the battle continuing on here farther back down in the field. Evans and Almeida right now on your screen as they try to, excuse me, Brennan and Angelo. This has been promoted up to the battle for P3 at the moment for this race for that GT4 class. So that's going to be an interesting running there for them. We still haven't seen pit stops out of the LMP3 category quite yet, so not altogether surprised. And there is the battle for the lead of the LMP3 class at the moment. There you can see them working their way on through. Now, Milwane has been able to take a few chunks out of it here at the moment, and that is going to help him so much as they go to be able to just close in with some clear air. That's really what he wants to see here at this point. We've got one of the first takers for pit stops, though, down in the LMP3 category. That's going to be Mark Kalin coming down into pit lane as we do a little split-screen battle here for you. Here we follow that battle for third in the GT4 class, Brennan and Angelo. This is one of the better runs that Angelo has had here at this moment. Is he going to be able to close it? No, he backs out of it. Looks like Vincent Genero's had a little bit of an issue here. Too much speed coming through the corner, catches the wiggle, and then it absolutely snaps around on him. Big hit there into the wall. Looks like Angelo and Brennan have both come down into pit lane, as had Nathan Deering and Turner Stroll. So that is going to be the entirety of your GT4 field pretty much at this point coming down into the pits. Our leader battle has dissipated here. Absolutely dissipated. I'm not sure what has happened. Duino here is being scored as in the lead of the race. We're going to try to pull up a replay here because this is Bergstrom coming down through. Oh, Bergstrom gets it wrong, coming down through the chicane and finds himself off here at this point. My goodness gracious, he's going to have to gather himself back up underneath him. Bergstrom now listed down in fourth place in class. This is not good for your former leader. My goodness. And he is going to take that opportunity. I've got to say, I kind of like the call here at this point for him to come down into pit lane, just get a little bit of a mental reset here if you are Alec Bergstrom for them as they go. Now let's see here what they're able to do. Duino has inherited the lead of this race, and remember, we talked about that gap between himself and Ozzy Milwane. That has started to grow here at this point. It's up to 1.9 seconds as they go. And with more lap traffic coming into the equation, I've got to think it's just going to get bigger and bigger here if you are David Duino. Now, he's got to time this pit stop right, but we'll have to see what he's able to do. And we haven't given any real love here over the course of this broadcast to the driver of the 912, and we are sorry for that. Justin Ream has just been so dominant up at the front of this GT4 field. There hasn't been much to talk about. Ream has been able to hold on to a 7.6 second advantage here over Connor Wagner at the moment, and that is especially mega Considering all the traffic he's had to deal with, it is insane to think about here for the Canadian driver. Absolutely fantastic running there for him, and he is well on his way, it looks like at this point, to a second consecutive victory. Focusing back on a little bit of a three-way battle here potentially in the GT4 class. Now, Nathan Deering is ahead of this field, but Jeff Evans and Alex Almeida right there behind. Those are the three Mercedes that you see on your screen. This is the battle for 5th in GT4 once again. And to answer a question here from YouTube chat, there are 42 entries here in this field at the moment, so that's why it's so crazy. As we've got some more takers down at the pit lane from the LMP3 category. Looks like Tony Kanaan going to bring that car down in from 5th place. So TK is going to bring it in as now, I believe Ozzy Milwain is going to be able to get his way into this battle right now. Replay here, Joshua Chinsky. Ooh, that's a strange one. The rear end of the car just positively wanting to dance on that moment. But yeah, just breaking loose on him there and kind of breaking away as he goes. And we focus back in on this battle once again. Looks like there it's been able to pull away a little bit for Deering, but Evans starting to close in behind, and Almeida is trying to keep that nice and close. All right, this is the battle back down for P10 and P9, and here they go. P11. This is another Mercedes battle for category. This is Ruiz, Brennan, and Angelo. Again, 3 Mercedes on your screen. Wow, look at that line there from Scotty Angelo, taking that as wide could be. All right, as we ride on board Scott Angelo right now, holding in behind Ruiz, Brennan right now, trying to see what they are able to do. Little bit of a look there as they come through the right-handed curve, trying to see what they can get to play. As here they go. Looks like your leaders down into pit lane, Duino, Milwain, and Hayes, all coming down into the pits from the LMP3 category. All right, as it looked like there, Scott Angelo was going to have a little bit of a half-hearted look, trying to go down to the inside there of the number 34 of William Brennan, and that didn't play itself out. But he's going to be able to keep on in line. Remember, the GT4s pretty much have pitted all here at this point. By the way, Brockway and Kerr also coming down into pit lane from the LMP3 class, so that's going to change things around. This is a problem here for Chapman, Travis Chapman. Too much speed in the BMW down into the hairpin, and that'll send him right around. Jumping back on board here once again, it looks like there Scotty Angelo is starting to lose a little bit of time, a little bit of speed to the drivers in front, and now has to give way for one of the LMP3s working their way on through, and that is going to be the number 66 machine. That's Bergstrom. That's your 3rd place car that's working their way on through. And where does the time go here, folks? At this point, we are already down with less than 10 minutes left to go in this race. It looks like a semi-comfortable lead up at the front here for David Duino, and we've got to talk about his performance. I mean, up 5 positions on the day. He has just absolutely capitalized in the face of others' misfortune, just getting his way up and on through. As I think we're going to be able to take a look at him there. As we come to David right there as he pieces his way through traffic, and you see that little bit of a face. Not exactly the happiest one, but trust me, when he crosses over the line, he will hopefully be a very, very happy camper. And you really get a sense there, looking at this for him, just how much this driver has to keep in mind over the course of a single race. In a multi-class field such as this, it's very, very difficult. It's very, very challenging to keep your head on a constant swivel with these slower cars working their way around you. Duino now making his way through the Mercedes Arena section. He'll have, it looks like here, about 7 seconds of clean air up in front of him before he closes in on the back of Austin Wilkins, so that'll be good running there for him. Another driver that, well, even us commentators up in the booth, we're fans. So we want to talk about him a little bit more. Mr. Tony Kanaan himself in the number 35 machine just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:48.86. So great running there for TK. Obviously, some unfortunate incidents there today. Found himself getting in some problems as they go, but a good drive. And, well, I, for one, really hope that TK is going to be joining us here on a permanent basis. Is there you go, a little bit Quirk fan there here for TK. Gotta love it. Gotta love TK's sense of humor. It always works its way through. But right now, looks like TK is going to be trying to just maybe gaining on the back of Mariano Barrios. That could be a battle before this race does come to an end. Checking back here on the battle for 6th in the GT4 category, Evans and Almeida, we've called their names certainly a whole lot today, as it looks like Almeida trying to close in on the back of that number 14 as they come on the straightaway. Ooh, and having to part the seas there for one of the faster LMP3s working their way on through. Good running there. They're going to be able to clean that in before they get down into the chicane. As right now, 4.5 minutes left to go, and looking around the outside is Almeida coming down into the final corner. Here they come. And it's going to be almost side by side as they come out. That's going to be a little bit scary to try to deal with, though, as Alex is going to have to be very, very aware of what's going on behind him. That's Jeff Evans on your screen right now with the pink matching the pink on his car. Almeida looks down to the inside, gets the move done, and Evans has got to be careful because he's got those two battling LMP3s behind him, and that indeed is going to be Tony Kanaan and Mariano Barrios. That's the battle for P6 in the LMP3 category. It's all kicking off here in the final stages. PK is towed. We are hearing that Tony Kanaan has towed. Not sure what's happened. I wonder if that's maybe a mechanical hardware issue for Tony that he just encountered, because it looked like something just snapped on the car and he pulled off to the side. Nevertheless, the battles still continue on the track in the final 3 minutes of the race, as they are the number 14 machine of Jeff Evans tries to be able to hold on to the back of Alex Almeida, but it just doesn't quite look like he's going to be able to keep that speed up and keep it going. Although a good battle just flashed on by them. Floyd Kerr and Adam Brockway trying to be able to keep themselves together right now. Kerr leading the way in 7th place. Brockway in the number 42. They're behind, trying to close in a little bit to see if there's any battle to be had. Oh, as they work their way by Nathan Deering right now. They've got Turner Stroll up ahead of them. This could present a little bit of a headache here for Kerr and for Brockway as they come down to the final chicane. Are they going to take it 3 wide? No, they're not. They keep it together, and they keep it on the same way. All right, they're going to maintain that position here at this point. Oh, but we may have a little bit of a storyline here as well, folks. With only 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this race, traffic has not played itself out well for David Duino. And hello, Ozzy Milwane. The number 114 is caught back up to the back of Duino, and we've got a race for the lead. As Duino tries to work his way around right now, trying to see what he's able to do, trying to see if he's able to grow that gap here at this point, but that gap is certainly a lot smaller than it used to be. Remember, we were saying not too long ago that was up to about 2 seconds. As Mark Kalin comes back down to the pit lane, not sure what happened there to the number 62. More lap traffic in front. Travis Chapman, Doug Evans. Oh, and that's going to be a dab at the brakes there for Duino as they come up over the rise out of the chicane. Now they've got to move down to the inside there of Will Jennings, or that was Evans that they just got on by. And Ozzy Milwane smells some blood in the rotter. Ozzy Milwane on the attack here at this point, trying to be getting his way up and earlier. Let's see what he can do. Here they go, down through the right-hander. Are we going to see an attack here from Milwane? They will be coming to the white flag this time by. One more lap to go. One more chance for Ozzy Milwane to take this away. Oh, takes a big look down to the inside of the Coca-Cola curve, but that's not going to play itself out there for him. As here they go, he's going to come on out right now. Onto the main straightaway they go. White flag in the air for the drivers. As here they come. Is Milwain going to have a response here? 0.7 of a second the gap. Let's call it about 3 or 4 car lengths as they roll. Trying to see if he's able to get anything to go as he comes down into the Mercedes Arena section right now. Looking. Twino trying to see if he can get anything to be had. A little bit of a wiggle there for Ozzy Milwain, but the gap's been closed down to about 0.5 of a second as they accelerate out of the Mercedes Arena. Here they go, down through the left-hander. Working their way through Valvoline and Ford. Milwain not looking like he's got the legs here at this point. Does he need traffic to come into the equation? If he does, he's not going to get it. Will Jennings is the next car, and they're 14 seconds up the road. This is going to be a strict LMP3 battle here as they go. Down through the hairpin, onto the loud pedal. Here they come, rising up through the hills, through the Michael Schumacher S as they try to get everything together. It doesn't look like Milwain's got them much of an attack here as they come down now through the left-hander. Milwain throwing the car into the corner. You can see who's almost overdriving it. He's got the gap down to about 3.4 seconds. It's now 0.4 of a second. Here he comes, looking from behind for David Twino. There's realistically only 2 more opportunities on this circuit to make it work. Can Twino hold him off? Can Twino make it work? Through the left-hander, through the right-handed chicane. A little bit of a defensive line coming down into Coca-Cola. Milwain sticks his nose in, almost contact between the two. Milwain keeps it together, and Twino comes across the line to take victory at the Nürburgring. Oh, and massive credit there to our director, Dustin, for being able to show us that live. I love to be able to see those pictures for a race winner such as that. Absolutely incredible. Alec Bergstrom sets the fastest lap of the race just for good measure on the last time by as Justin Ream, the Canadian, brings that 912 Porsche out of the final curve and for the second time in 2 consecutive weeks takes victory in the GT4 category. Great drive there for him. You gotta love to see that. The rest of the drivers coming across the line. Your podium in there. We just got the pass coming on through. Oh, here it is. Nathan Deering coming on through right now. That looked like a little bit of a last-minute pass over Turner Schroll. Great running there for him. As it looks like coming to the line, Schroll's going to try to fight back a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it there. And he's going to hold in line here at the moment. They're going to come across the line 1-2. Big burn out there, it looks like, for Justin Ream having a good time. We've got a few more drivers to come across right now. Douglas Corey in the number 25 machine. He is going to come out and on through. Corey had a little bit of an up-and-down race, but was able to finish in 25th overall when he crosses over the line here. Good running there for him. Again, the BMW's not necessarily all that strong here this weekend, so good runs to be able to come home. William Brennan coming back across the line with a little bit less of the car than he started out with there, as that front end was completely missing from that machine. Looks like here that we've got one of the other Porsches coming across. This is Jared Deploy for KJ Simsport. He's going to come across and through the Coca-Cola curve right now. It's just him and Will Jennings that we're waiting on to finish the lap here at this point. Going to have, it looks like about, I'd say, 27, 28 finishers here as Will Jennings crosses over the line. And that will conclude your running drivers out on the track, I do believe. So great running there for all of them. Let's go ahead and run you through the final finishing order here from the Nürburgring. Absolutely incredible stuff there for all of them, for all of these drivers as they put on one heck of a show yet again. In the LMP3 category, David Twino going to take that top step, and he is waiting in outside our commentary booth, so cannot wait to talk to him. Then it was Ozzy Milwain and Alec Bergstrom to round out your podium. Walker Caton came home P4, followed by Joey Haynes, then Mariano Barrios, Floyd Kerr, Adam Brockway, Mike Michael Serafino, and Jake Haskell to round out your top 10. Bradley Holly came home in 11th for Woodaback Racing, followed by his teammate Mark Kalin. Austin Lawrence was in P13, the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Then Tony Kanaan finished P14. A little bit of a mysterious issue there for him. Not entirely sure what happened, but then it was Darian Roy, Vincent Generu, Eric Harmon, Wayne Castile, Joshua Chinsky, and Ryan Reeves to round out the 20 cars there, the top 20 in the LMP3 category. And then as we move on over into the GT4 class here at the moment, it was Justin Ream taking victory yet again in dominant fashion by about 8 seconds over Connor Wagner. Austin Wilkins came home in P3. Then it was Nathan Deering and Turner Stroll to round out your top 5. Good battle there that we just clipped in on the end on Alex Almeida and Jeff Evans in P7. Aaron Create, then Scott Angelo and Miguel Ruiz. Scott Angelo having a lot of action out there today. In P11, it was William Brennan, followed by Douglas Corey, John Duong, Jared Deploy, and Will Jennings. Doug Evans was your first driver to finish the lap down, followed by Jeffrey Seabach, Travis Chapman, Matt Brewer, and Kyle Bishop. And then Matthew Campbell was the last driver there. All right, so that is going to lead us right on into the interviews, and first and foremost, it is David Duino. David, we got to watch your camera as you crossed over the line. Ozzy made that a little tough at the end, but a great victory.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Ozzy definitely kept me in check. It was kind of a bummer because I kept getting held up by traffic. I think the last 3 laps I got held up in both of the fast chicanes like 5 times, and he got to pass him on the straightaways. So it was one of those things that sucks. It's part of multi-class racing, but he kept me in check, and he definitely was trying to put the pressure on the last lap. I think we both ran our best laps all race on that last lap. So it was a fun one with Ozzy there at the end. It was a good race all around with everybody.
I'm looking at the timing and scoring screen, and you guys did run your personal best there on that last lap. But I mean, talk to me about this. Up 5 positions. Did you come into the race today thinking you could take this victory, or was this just kind of the seas parting moment for you?
I think a little bit of both. I knew I had pace, especially on the back end of the race. I had seen that all week in all my practices and things that I'd done. But it was a little bit of timing the traffic well, a little bit of guys causing problems. I feel really bad for Alec because him and I were going to have a really good battle, and I think he kept running a little wider, and he just, I think, took it a step too far. But it was a good race, and I was glad my pace held up the way it did. I was kind of worried. I actually ran out of fuel coming into my pit stall, so I cut it a little close there. But it was fun.
It certainly was fun to watch. I can tell you that. There, as we got you on the screen. Well, I got to ask you. We head to Jerez next time out. I don't really know how that's going to go. I've never seen multi-class racing there. So, what are your predictions?
Chaos. That's the only word I can describe it. I don't really know Jerez that well. I don't know how many guys really do. So it should be fun. I'm very happy to see how this week went. So I'm hoping that can translate into next week and building momentum as the season goes on.
Well, David, we wish you all the luck in the world. We will see you next time in Spain, and congratulations again.
Thank you guys very much.
All right, from one victor to another, we're going to head right on over to Justin Ream, who for the second consecutive week takes victory. And Justin, you're making this look easy.
I was just having good pace and really enjoying the track, so that's what makes for good pace, I guess.
Well, I mean, how was it out there for you? I know coming into this, we had a little bit of hesitation, being worried about some of the lapping traffic coming on through. How did you find it this week compared to previous weeks like Mo Sport and Suzuka?
Well, I wasn't around for Mo Sport. Suzuka was kind of spaced out, so I think it was just trying to find a gap where, like, the pit when there was a group of the P3 cars instead of just like 1 or 2 spaced out, and that's kind of how I timed my pit stop. It looked like everyone else behind me kind of had the same idea.
Yeah, I think they did. There was kind of a flurry of activity when you guys made that in. But are you going to be with us next week at Jerez, and how do you think that's going to go?
Yeah, I'll be there next week. I hope it goes well. I like the track. Yeah, I don't know what to expect with multi-class. I've never done multi-class there, so should be interesting. But given the group that we have, it should be some clean racing.
It should be indeed. Justin, Congratulations, my friend. Love seeing you rocket up through the order like this, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, that was Justin Reed there, and looks like here we've got a very special guest joining us up in the booth. Tony Kanaan. Tony, welcome to the Precision Racing League, and how was the running out there for you?
Thanks so much. I mean, I had a lot of fun. Obviously, it's my first race. I got DQ because I had too many X's. I had a lot of fun. It's been a long weekend for me. I was really tired, but Jerome put me in the league last week, and I felt like I should participate. I just came back from an IndyCar race last night, so not my best performance here, but I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. Super, super excited for it. How do you like the LMP3? How does it handle for you?
Actually, I have to say, since this car, I helped them develop a little bit on the early stages, and it's my favorite car on iRacing right now. It's really fun to drive. It gets faster as the fuel load goes down, so you always have to drive on the edge, and it makes the racing extremely exciting. So to me, by far, and I'm a big GT fan, GT3 and GTE fan, but this car, for sure, right now, it's my favorite.
Well, we love seeing you in it, and we hope to see you next time out at Jerez. How do you think that's going to go here with the multi-class racing?
Well, it's going to be busy, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to definitely prepare a little bit more next time. I have this week off, so I'm going to have time to test a little bit. I'll get Wayne probably to give me a little bit of tips, but yeah, I think it's going to be crazy, and traffic's going to be the key. This races are fun because it's not just about the speed. You have the speed, but if you don't clear traffic, you can lose a 10-second lead in 3 corners. So I love this type of multi-class racing. I think this is the way to go, and I can't wait until next week.
We can't wait either. Tony, thank you so much for joining us here in the league, and we'll see you in a week.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was Tony Kanaan there, and it looks like that's unfortunately going to be our last interview of the day, and that's going to wrap up our coverage here. It has been so spectacular to be able to bring you all of the action from Monza and from the Nürburgring, and on behalf of all of us here at RaceSpotTV, thank you so very much for joining us here for the coverage. We'll be back next week as the GR86 series heads to Mid-Ohio, and as the LMP3 and GT4 series heads on off to Jerez. But until that time, on behalf of myself, DJ Clark, Dustin Allis, until we see you on the track, thanks for watching.